Hello again, everyone. I know I haven't done a video once again in a couple of weeks. This time it was actually deliberate. Also, before I continue, it's still me. I just cut off all my hair because it's summer and it's a lot less hot and it's a lot easier to deal with, especially because I wear a lot of hats during the summer, so I don't get hat hair. But yeah, I took sort of a week off because I was getting a little fatigued with lightsaber reviews. So I wanted to just kind of take a step back. So it was very much deliberate that I didn't do a video last week. But in order to keep from doing that again, I have been watching a lot of TV and videos and uh, movies, and I've been playing a few video games, and I've been reading a lot. So there's a lot of stuff I want to talk about. I just caught up with all the DC shows, and there's something from those I want to talk about. They just had the D23 thing with Disney, and they had a behind-the-scenes trailer for Star Wars, The Last Jedi, and they had a trailer for Kingdom Hearts, and I might want to talk about those things. So there's some stuff that I definitely want to talk about in case I'm still fatigued from doing lightsaber reviews. So I just kind of wanted to get that out of the way and let you guys know that this time not doing a video was kind of on purpose. But in order to keep from doing that again, if I don't feel like doing another lightsaber review, then I will do a review, or discussion about something else next week. So the good thing about this is that now I get to review one of my favorite lightsabers out of all of the films, and that is Luke's. This is specifically Luke's from A New Hope. And actually, my second favorite lightsaber is the lightsaber that I have on my wall. And actually, that might be my favorite lightsaber. But in terms of, purposes for right now, that's my, not second favorite in number, but it's my other favorite lightsaber. Because I don't think there's really an order between the two. But this one is specifically the one from A New Hope. And when I say that, people are going to be confused, and they're going to be like, well, wasn't that, his father's lightsaber, and shouldn't it look the same? And yes and no. In real life, the reason that they all look different is because, they didn't necessarily keep the props from the original movie, and they, mix them around and stuff like that. With the Anakin lightsaber in the prequels, in Revenge of the Sith specifically, they deliberately made it different. Because they wanted to give it sort of Anakin's own character, and the idea was that Obi-Wan would have modified this one throughout the years. So I actually have a Hasbro Ultimate FX lightsaber of Anakin's, so that way I can show the differences between the two. This one is sort of a compromise between a toy and one of these, which is kind of neat. I might even compare the soundboards and the lights, but I'm not sure about that. But with this one, I'm going to put this down for a second. With this one, this is the one from A New Hope. The biggest difference of this one is that this is the only lightsaber where the control box, if this is considered the front of the lightsaber, where the control box is on the left. On the right. It's on my left right now. On the right. In all the other ones, it's going to be on the left. And the Anakin one just fell. But, yeah, in all the other ones, it's going to be on the left, and right now it's on the right. Let's go ahead and kick it on just to show you the lights and sounds. This is the first Hasbro saber that I'm going to be reviewing, so I wanted to sort of show you the soundboard of this and how it's different. Now, with this lightsaber, I don't know how well you can hear it, because I don't know if it's quite as loud as the Vader that I have. But when you swing it slowly, it has slow swings. And when you swing it faster, it has faster swings. So I wanted to show that. I actually really like this blue. I've never seen the blue on camera, and it looks really good. It looks just like it does in the films. And another cool thing about this is the window. Now, in the Anakin saber, there is no window. And I believe, I'm not sure, but I believe in the Empire lightsaber, there is also no window. So it's really cool that the New Hope lightsaber has a window. And actually that window returns in The Force Awakens, which is something that I want to talk about. I'm going to talk about more the history of this lightsaber and the prop than the actual review of the Hasbro saber itself. It is a nice saber, as I just reviewed the soundboard and the color, and it does look good. The detail on this is really great. It's a little beat up because all my lightsabers are a little beat up, but the detail of this is fantastic. This was actually originally a Graflex camera flash. Graflex was a camera company back in the 40s. And they had a bunch of old ones lying around in 1977 when they made the original, 1976, when they made the original Star Wars. And this became the lightsaber prop. So basically the Graflex was this tube here without, I believe without the grips. And that was pretty much it. I mean, some of the buttons might have been added on later on, but this is like a knob to adjust the flash. This clamp was actually the clamp that was used to affix it to the camera. So, the switch on here wasn't there. It was just kind of an empty space. So the switch is actually calculator bubbles that they used. These are strips from like a sliding door that, these would go in the track and slide the door across, and they just cut it up and affixed it to this. So it's really, this is sort of a great example of just making a prop out of things that are laying around. And this is the most iconic lightsaber. Like, when people see this, they know it's a lightsaber. They might even know on sight that it's Luke's, because this is sort of the most iconic lightsaber out of any of the films. Except maybe Vader's, but I would argue that this is even more so. And they really want to make sure that that's known in the films, because now they're calling this the hero saber. The fact that Rey is carrying it now makes it the hero saber, and it's sort of a combination of this one, the New Hope one, and the Empire one. And the reason that I say that is, and I might put some pictures up, although, like I said, I have been trying not to edit these videos all that much, so I might leave like a link in the description or something. Where's it going with this? Oh, the difference in the Empire lightsaber versus this one is the fact that, first of all, this has 7 grips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we're back to the beginning here. So this has 7 grips as opposed to 6 in Empire. And there's actually, instead of the calculator bubbles, because that's what these were, they pulled apart an old calculator and there were bubbles inside underneath the screen, and this is what they used for the switch. Instead of the calculator bubbles, there's actually like a piece of circuit board from, I'm actually not sure what originally the circuit board was, but I can actually show you something that I have. And this is kind of what it looks like, this little gold piece here with the lines in it. So it would go right in there. And actually what I plan on doing at some point is I plan on modifying this. It'll still have 7 grips because the way that it's set up, I can actually show you real quick. The grips go straight through the saber, so it's not like I could take one off, because then there'd be like a dead space. And I'd have to take all 7 off and like respace them, and it would be a pain in the butt anyway. But you can see, if you look inside, the grips are all the way through right there. So there's not really any way I can really modify that without, completely modifying the entire saber, which I might as well build my own at that point. But I do plan on replacing the bubbles with that piece of circuit board, and that's actually the circuit board from either an NES or an SNES cartridge. I don't know if that's what they originally used, but that's very similar to the one that they used. So that's probably what I'm going to use. And then also in Empire and The Force Awakens, they have pop rivets. They're either pop rivets or screws. I'm probably going to wind up using pop rivets because they'll stay a little better than screws, and I won't have to use washers, and it'll be a little cleaner on the inside for the battery pack. So I'll probably wind up using pop rivets. But they're either pop rivets or screws, and they just go in the tops of each of the grips. So that'll make it look Not just more like the one from Empire, but more like the one from The Force Awakens. Because, like I said, in Empire, the lightsaber doesn't have this window here that shows the light through. But in The Force Awakens, and in A New Hope, it does. And also, this glass eye here in Empire is replaced by a red button. But then they put, in The Force Awakens, they have the glass eye again. So I want to make this look more like the Force Awakens lightsaber. So I plan on doing that soon. The biggest difference that's going to be a gripe for me isn't going to be the grips. It's going to be the fact that this is going to be on the left instead of the right. There's not really any way, once again, that I can change that. I mean, if I take it apart and I find out that I can just kind of like that, I might be able to do that. But the only way to really be able to do that would be to drill a hole in the saber, feed the wires through, hope nothing gets messed up by doing that, and do it that way. But that might be, again, too much hassle, and I might as well just rebuild the entire lightsaber. So I might just keep it like that. I actually don't mind the control box on that side anyway. So, and people aren't really going to notice unless they're a huge nerd like I am. And if they are, I'll just have the discussion that I'm having with you right now with them, and they'll be like, hey, that's cool that you know all that. So I'm not really that worried about it, but I do plan on modifying this at some point. Now, I did want to show you the Anakin, which rolled into the couch. Again, this is the Hasbro Ultimate FX, which is sort of the compromise between one of these and a toy. It's still made of plastic, but it is higher quality. You can see that the size is more similar to this one. And actually, as you can see on this one actually has 6 grips as opposed to 7. So somehow Obi-Wan added a grip. He switched the control box around because the control boxes are on opposite sides. This one has something similar to the circuit board. That's not quite the circuit board that's on the one in Empire, but it's still a circuit board of some kind. It's got a little more detail on it. It's a little more unique than the one in Empire. Because in Empire, it's literally just gold and white lines. In this one, it's gold and black lines, but there's like a geometric box in the middle of it, and there's these vertical lines on the top and bottom. So it's very, very different from the one from Empire and from the one that I'm going to put on it. Also, this clip here, this one looks more like a clip. This one looks more like a button, and it's gold as opposed to silver. So, also, this has like the stippled grip on the middle of it here. This has no such thing. It's more smooth, and there's just a couple of lines and a couple of holes in it. So there's actually quite a few differences when you look at the lightsabers. When you look at them just sort of like this, they don't look that different. But there's actually quite a few small differences. Let's kick them both on. Oh yeah, this one's nowhere near as bright. But mostly I wanted to show you there's no light shining through here. It's just a big black strip. And that's very much what it looks like in the film. Wow, this thing looks sad compared to this one. But yeah, so there's a lot of differences between all of these lightsabers. Let me turn these off. Okay. There's a lot of differences with all these lightsabers. Oh yeah, also this one's a lot longer. And I've always thought it was very interesting how they built them, how the original ones, I think even Vader's and Obi-Wan's from A New Hope were made out of Graflex handles. So I've always thought that was really interesting. I've always kind of wanted to get my own Graflex handle and build my own lightsaber. Not necessarily a replica of this, just one that looks similar. But Graflex handles are really hard to come by. They're very rare nowadays. And because there's a market for them, not only for people who collect old camera parts, but also who want to build lightsabers, A, they're more rare because of that, because there's a market, there's 2 markets for it, and B, it makes them very expensive. I think the cheapest I saw a Graflex handle was like $120. And I'm not going to spend $120 on something just to tear it apart and add stuff to it and make a lightsaber. I'd rather spend $120 on something like this, which is already made. So, you know, there's that. I mean, at some point, if I have a lot of money, I might do that, you know, just for fun. Get a Graphics, stick it on like a garage, on like a garage bench, and sort of work on it. But not right now. Right now, you know, I work as a security guard and I have a YouTube channel. It's not gonna be a thing, and it's not even a popular YouTube channel. So, for the time being, this is enough. I like this. Once again, it's one of my favorite lightsabers. I might just skip right to my other Luke lightsaber. It's the Return of the Jedi one, because that one is another one of my favorites. But for now, I think that's it. That's my review of this lightsaber. Again, I didn't really review the product all that much. That might come more with the Kylo and even the Luke, because those ones are, you know, I have a little less to say about them than this one, as far as background and stuff like that go. So, I hope you enjoyed this. Part of the reason I did something a little different is because again, I was getting a little tired of doing just lightsaber reviews. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I might post pictures in the description of all the different versions of this guy, of this one. Even though you're seeing this one in the video, it's easier. It might be easier for you to look at like stock photos of this one, of the one in Empire, of the one in The Force Awakens, and of Anakin's. So again, thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Like, comment, subscribe, all that other good stuff, and may the Force be with you.